Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. Here with your daily free picks. All right, so these are going to be the first picks of March. Very excited for March and April and baseball and all the fun stuff that comes with the spring and going into the summer, right? And actually, being Canadian, living in Toronto, I'm just excited to have it not have like 3 feet of snow outside every time when I go outside. We got pelted this weekend by a ton of snow up here, and I'm over it. I'm done with winter, so ready to enter spring. So I have 4 picks for you guys today. Now, before I get into that, I am going to be releasing another video for the contest. I think you guys are going to be very happy about it. The contest, if you guys aren't aware, I started an account with $500. The goal is to get it up to $1,000. So I should have a video in the next day or so posted. So keep an eye out, guys. All you have to do to enter that is basically like a video and comment, and that's it. You're entered, and you get a chance to win some money. So I'll be out with that. And the one other thing I just wanted to kind of touch on, because colleague of mine kind of brought up a really good point. We were having a discussion, and I thought, you know what, it's not something I really talked about because it's kind of counterintuitive to what I tell you guys a lot. So that is covering the topic of small school college basketball. All right, so I know we're getting late into the college basketball season, but I do think it is important that I mention this to you guys. So small school college basketball. Now, I have talked about when you're betting small school college basketball in the past, that there basically is, there can be some red flags that go up in Vegas. So, I mean, if you guys are out betting a couple $100, do not worry about it. Don't waste the time, trying to bet $50 here or $100 there. Just place your bets. But if you're moving serious money, when you're betting small schools, it's a flag because not a lot of people bet the really small kind of off the board type games. Mostly it's the sharps, right? So when you go in, you start trying to lay a few $1,000s on these, you're going to draw attention. So I think I told the story before at Treasure Island where I did get limited. I'm still limited at Treasure Island. It's the only place. I look at it as an achievement because whatever, it's Treasure Island. But that was just because I was being lazy. I didn't want to walk, across the street. It takes me 4 minutes to get over to Venetian. I didn't want to do that. I was lazy, so I just decided to put my whole card in there, and they took it, and it just so happened that I had a good day, and I did the following day, and the following day, and the following day, and I went on a run, and then there was the manager wanting to meet me. But that was just being lazy. So lesson learned. So I mentioned that to you guys before in the past, especially on the small college schools, and you will notice it a lot of books. So even like a larger book like Caesar's Palace, if you put in larger bets, they will bring over a manager, and they claim, we just need to get a manager approval on this. The manager always approves it for the most part, especially the bigger books. They almost always approve it unless it's an outrageous figure. But what they're doing is they're just taking a mental snapshot of you. So they get a good look at you. Thank you very much. Put the bet in, and that's it. But if you're there day in and day out cashing those winners, you'll get on the radar. So you want to stay below the radar. But I've talked about that before, but the important thing that I want to talk about here, guys, is I always tell you guys, we like contrarian plays. We want to be betting with Vegas. We don't want to be betting with the public. We talk about the 7 to 21% difference. So, example in the NBA of a game that looks really good is a game where there might be 25% of bets, but 40% of money or 45% of money. So we're betting with Vegas, not the public, but at the same time, we're getting much more money than we are bets. And I say that's favorable. Now, not to complicate things really far here, and this does not apply to all college basketball, but when you start dealing with the really small schools, the schools that do not receive a lot of public attention, it is almost the opposite of that. Okay, and the reason that is because those games are very heavily bet by sharps. There's really only 2 types of people that bet those games. Sharps and people that either live in the area, go to the schools, they have some kind of connection to the school. Because your average Joe Blow coming in off the street to bet that money, they're typically not these schools, I mean, half of them have never even heard of these schools. So they're not going in there and they're not thinking, oh, wow, I want to bet on this, I want to bet on that. Your average sports bettor, your average kind of rookie sports bettor wants to bet on something that's on TV or a school they know or ranked matchups. So when you have these really, really small schools facing off, and you might see, 75, 80% of the money on one side, it is actually favorable sometimes to go with the 85% on these small schools. And especially if there's been a lot of line movement. So if there's steam as well as a reverse line move, it can be favorable that way. But also even if that line if there's steam and the line has run, if the line's running, but I mean, it's like, say it started off at -5 and 85% of bets and steam, and that line's jumped up to like, -7 or -7.5 or something, there still might be some value in this game because Vegas certainly doesn't spend that amount of time on the smaller schools. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Just something to watch out there. I always tell you guys, you want to be contrarian, you want to keep an eye out because that's where you're going to find a lot of the value. But if you are betting these really small college basketball schools, that's not necessarily the case because there's not a lot of public money out there. It's typically sharp bettors. So you do want to keep an eye on. You just don't want to start fading, games that are getting 70, 65% of the money. So that's it. If you guys are betting small school college basketball, I'm sure you found this helpful. If not, I apologize for taking up 6 minutes of your time, guys. Without further ado, we'll get into today's picks. All right, guys, so I have 4 picks for you guys today. I have an NHL play, I have 2 college basketball plays, and I have a very rare, and your first of the year, Major League Baseball pick, preseason Major League Baseball pick. I say it's rare because I do have system indicators for preseason, but they're not that common. I mean, obviously, I have tons of system indicators for regular season, not so much for baseball, but I do have one that's come up today. I like the matchup, so we are going to have our first baseball pick of the year. All right, so starting off in the NHL, guys, we have Colorado versus Detroit. So Colorado, Detroit. Colorado, if you've been watching them, they've been doing phenomenally well this year. They're actually on a 6-game winning streak right now. And more importantly, if you guys have been following me for a long time, I said something at the very start of the year. I said the goaltender Pavel Francouz, who no one had ever heard of because he played in Russia, no one ever heard of him. I said he was going to be a top 5 NHL goalie within a few years, and he was going to be very good this year and create a lot of value. And if you listen to me and you've been betting Colorado this year on Pavel Francouz starts, you're up a ton of money. So this guy just didn't register with Vegas, and I knew it was going to be that way. Occasionally, they miss stuff like this, but he was a top goalie in Russia, an unbelievable save percentage in a pretty hard league. The KHL is a very, very top echelon league. So coming over here, it wasn't a very difficult transition, and he's done phenomenal. So I expect Pavel Francouz to get the start tomorrow. We also have a Detroit team that is worse than the NHL by a long shot. I mean, it's not even close. They're worse than the NHL by a long shot. They're on a 5-game losing streak, and they have difficulty putting the puck in the net to start with, let alone facing a goaltender potentially. It's likely he's going to start, but potentially in Francouz. So now above and beyond that, guys, Colorado is loaded with offense up and down that lineup, and I look for this to be a blow. Detroit hasn't been playing for anything for a long time, and they've traded away some of their top players in Athanasiou over to Edmonton. And really at this point, they're trying to get through this season. And Colorado's still pushing. Colorado's got a lot on the line. So I like Colorado in this game, guys. I am not going to lay minus 300 or whatever. I think it's minus 310 or somewhere in that range. But I do like them, guys, at minus 1.5 goals. So we're going to take them puck line. Colorado to win by minus 1.5 at minus 115. So we're laying minus 115 to have Colorado win by a puck and a half in that game. All right, so that is game number 1. Game number 2, guys, going over to college basketball, we have Texas Tech versus Baylor. So Texas Tech versus Baylor. 3 system indicators on this game as well. Decent money distribution. Now, because it's early on, there's not a lot of the public money out there. So I expect later on some more public money to be coming in on Baylor. But early distribution is 33% of bets, but 61% of the money. So a lot of money coming in on Texas Tech in this game. I do expect that number is going to come down because Baylor is going to draw some public money. So at this point though, guys, definitely like Texas Tech plus the 8 points. So we'll take Texas Tech plus 8. I think it's a good time to grab it. I don't see, even with the public money coming in, I don't see this line getting much better for us. It could get worse. I don't see it getting much better. I could be wrong, but very happy at plus 8. So let's lock it in at plus 8. So Texas Tech plus 8. Next game, guys, we have another college basketball play for you guys. It's in our college basketball super system. So we have Duke versus NC State. So Duke and NC State, we're going to go under 151.5. So under 151.5 in that game. Not only is a super system play, but there was some early steam that's coming on as well. It's not at the greatest book. There's definitely better books you can get steam at, but steam is steam. We're happy with it. So anyways, guys, under 151.5, Duke and NC State. And finally, guys, our first baseball game of the year. And believe me, there will be lots of baseball this year. Lots of it. You guys know, if you guys watched me before, I absolutely love baseball. So this is going to be Pittsburgh and Toronto Blue Jays. So rare spring training indicator in this game, guys. But we are going to be taking Toronto, laying minus 140. So minus 140 for Toronto. And that's it, guys. That's it for today. We have, like I said, the 4 picks. So first baseball game of the year, Toronto Blue Jays minus 140. We got the super system play, college basketball play, NHL play for you guys. So thank you guys very much as always. And appreciate all the support and everything. And as always, guys, have a very lucky day.